month ago, if you guys would go 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position, you might not win the game. What's been the difference where you're still able to find ways to win despite having a bad day there?
Is that where we went today?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sorry.
It felt like it. It felt like 0 for 13. Just when the team is confident and they're connected, and there is that synergy between the pitching and the defense and the hitting, it's just for whatever reason, and I don't even know if I can explain it well, but there's just this connectivity that we're just going to find a way. And we didn't necessarily, we were finding our identity early, but we were still going through it, and we were still kind of still figuring out who we were, what the roles were, who goes where. And I think there's just been that figuring it out process to where now there's a comfort and just a belief that even if we don't, because there's going to be times where we just don't cash in and we don't get that run in and we don't get the hit, but there's this belief that the next guy will pick them up or we'll do it the next inning or whatever. And it's a good feeling. And the guys have it right now and they're confident. And, it's good to see.
Coach base running played a big part in the game today. Taylor heads up plays for that first run of the game, but then a couple of mistakes there costing maybe a run or two. Obviously the crazy play at the plate with Bertram, but you have to say, if you look at the season, base running's been a real strength for y'all, isn't it?
It has, and we live and die by the sword. So if we're going to be aggressive, and one of our calling cards is being aggressive, then we have to be willing to run into outs sometimes, and that's what we did today. It's just ran into 3 of them on the 3 outs on the bases, and that's unfortunately too many. But we're gonna with a guy who's fast at third and the infield in and 1 out, we're always gonna be on go there. Or, most of the time we're gonna be on go, and it's an aggressive play, and you make the defense make the play. And credit to Louisville, they fielded a nice backhand ball through a strike to the plate, and we were out. But we're gonna, by being aggressive, and Bertram, his was an aggressive play, and the ball bounced and went right back to the catcher, and it was bang bang, and just one of those things. But I don't mind aggressive plays and aggressive mistakes for that matter. I mean, we want our guys to go for it. We kind of have that screw it mentality, and if we're going to be the team that we want to be, then we have to go for it and not hold anything back. So I do like that we are playing, with an edge, right on the edge.
Did Riley feel like the catcher missed him on that play? Because from what we saw, it sure looked like he missed him.
Yeah, no, he said he might have got me. I don't know. Like he didn't know, and it's those are tough because you got to have conclusive evidence to overturn it. So there must have been. I haven't watched it yet, but I guess we'll have to take a look at it.
How important was it for Ethan and Reed to go deep as they did, and 16 pitches for Hammond, so you saved a lot of arms in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean that's been a big storyline of from a month or 2 ago to now. It's just the starters giving us a little more length, the bullpen not being overtaxed, getting bullpen guys that are back off injury that can help us, and it's just a much better feeling when you get a quality start from a starter, especially early in the weekend, and you can preserve the bullpen a little bit. But those guys came in and did a great job to get the 9 outs that they did, 5 with Reed and 4 with Ammo to be able to do that against a good lineup with 6 left-handed hitters and some experience, and a lot of guys on that team that were in a super regional last year. So know them very well, know their staff very well. It's one of the best coaching staffs in the country, and Coach Mack's future Hall of Famer, and so it's it's going to be, it was a grinded out kind of day today, and it's going to be a tough one again tomorrow.
Is Ethan? Oh, go ahead, Christian.
Is there anything you can point to as far as what's been going better for your starters in the last, like you said, month or so? Just what's been leading to kind of the ability to get those more quality starts?
Yeah, I mean they're throwing more strikes. There's less free passes. We'll still have a few walks here and there, but it just feels like the guys are doing a better job of attacking the zone and letting the defense play. And I think the pitching and the defense is connected. And we've shuffled a few weekend starters in and out. And, a guy like Darden, who gets a lot of ground balls and throws a lot of strikes, he may be a freshman, but he's effective, and he's been a really good, effective starter for us in that regard. Having Caden Grice on the back end has been super effective, and obviously Gordo's been a weekend starter the whole year, and it's got good stuff. So, it's just, I think them settling into their roles and, finding a way to be really good in their routine week to week in their preparation. And that's another part of it, when 1 week a guy's a reliever and the next week he's a starter, and we're just trying to figure it out. That's been one thing I think where as coaches us helping figure out the roles to put the guys in the best positions to have success has helped the team, or help those individuals have success so they could settle into their roles. And that was probably a mistake that, I don't even know if you call it a mistake. It was just something that as we were finding our identity and figuring out who goes where and what our pieces were, just felt like it was a little out of sorts, and it was, and we were a little hampered with some guys that were out, but that's all part of it, and that's part of what has made the team now and given us the belief that we have, because had we not had the struggles early, we wouldn't have the confidence we have now.
With Ethan, is he kind of where you want him to be at this point in the year during his freshman season?
I don't know if you can ask for anything more from a freshman. He didn't have his best outing last week in Boston, and had a good outing today. Outside of the 2-run homer, I thought he was good. He was just, really methodical the way he just got ground ball after ground ball and let the defense work. So yeah, I mean, we're happy, with his performance today and just his kind of evolution this season, going from what started as maybe he might be a margin guy, to then he's a matchup lefty, to then he's a short reliever, to then he's a high leverage reliever, to then he's a midweek starter, to now a weekend starter. That's pretty good. So yeah, happy with kind of how he's grown and improved, and he's matured a lot as well mentally, and I think he's got a very, very bright future.
Your decision to pinch hit Brian for Cora was a pretty good one. He was 2 for 2 today and started off that big 7th inning for you.
That was a big deal, yeah. Just getting a contribution from a guy off the bench like that, and a 2-strike base hit to lead things off and get the scoring going, and got the guys fired up. Yeah, that was a big deal. So, we've got some good players that are sitting on that bench that, in that right field spot continues to be a platoon type spot. So, and Corbett and Jack Crichton and Nate Hall have got the most consistent rounds of that revolving door right fielder, and it's good because it's you keep them all fresh and you keep them all in there, and nobody's really. I think that's actually a benefit of keeping all those guys activated, so that when you do need a pinch hit off the bench, it's not like the guy hasn't played in a month. So we'll probably continue to do that and use that right field spot that way to give multiple guys opportunities, but it's certainly been a positive in that regard.
I guess that's a good segue for Ferry. What's his status right now?
He tweaked his wrist a few weeks ago and just kind of getting back into it. But yeah, Chad's a great kid and a hard worker and a great teammate. So, you don't ever want to see a senior not in there. So, hoping he can contribute soon.
Have you been surprised at all about how kind of strong the league has come on the last, month and a half or so?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I saw that coming. I mean, he was another guy that, again, we didn't know where he fit, and he's really improved. I mean, he has significantly improved. He was a guy that didn't have a ton of success. He was catching too now, so, maybe that had something to do with it, but, fall, he was, you could tell he had the strength and he could hit for power, and he would show it in batting practice, and it was there, but to his credit, he has shortened his swing, he has taken advantage of opportunities in games, and fully established himself as a true threat, not only on our team, but in this conference, as a middle order hitter that could hit in the middle of most people's orders.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank